Welcome to the latest episode of The Men Are Talking. In honor of our very own Paul becoming Dr. Paul, PhD, we're going to talk about college, and things get a little sophomoric. Surprise. So sit back and enjoy as we reminisce about the quote-unquote greatest time of our lives. Spoilers, it wasn't. And so this is The Men Are Talking. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of The Men Are Talking. This week is going to be a epic battle of shirts versus skins in intramural
hijinks.
Yeah, hijinks. There you go. This week we're going to be talking about college. You guys will know why in a little bit. We'll get into that. But to start out, let's see who we have with us today. Of course, I'm Larry.
Bill.
UPC.
Paul, hello.
Michael. Bird, what up?
Will.
And that's the crew. So we're pretty full tonight. So we're going to be kind of taking things a little, we'll say, brief.
Unlike right now.
Yeah, we're going to try to keep it brief.
Quick fire.
Moving
For each
along.
of us.
Well, we've got to get back to the new Disney set for Snow White.
We do.
Paul does.
I only have one as well.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, it's rare for you
All
to
right.
be in a
You're meeting
room
up
with
with your
7 guys
your
where I'm the
6
tallest
brothers.
fella.
So tonight we're going to be talking about college. Fun and exciting time in your youth when you strike out and you leave your parents and you find out what the real world's like, what it's like to be an adult, what it's like to have your parents pay all your bills.
Wait, who's...
Oh, wait,
Okay,
Yeah, no.
I didn't get that either.
When you trade your overbearing parents for an overbearing RA.
Yeah, I was basically talking about UPC.
No, good.
I'll have you know that I paid almost all my bills myself in college.
First year?
Yep, because I
Alright.
had 2 scholarships and I made money off of those
We're not talking about bar
All right,
bills here,
all
right?
right,
We're
all
talking,
right.
okay,
And
that's
I
great.
worked full
All
time.
right. I'm pretty sure the IRS would be interested to hear how you make money on
Exactly.
scholarships.
There you go.
I had
Tax limitations.
additional, yeah, actually the IRS is a 10-year look-back period for,
He had the same investigators as Hunter Biden, but there we go.
oh yeah, he was my frat brother, actually.
All right, so tonight we are going to go
He still never gave me that laptop back that I wanted.
I wonder where that is.
That
That's
old
wonderful.
IBM ThinkPad.
All right,
Wonderful.
So everyone's gonna pretend like they're in calculus and shut the fuck up. So we're gonna go counterclockwise tonight. We are going to start with Will.
Damn it.
So I went to UWF, and at the time I went to UWF, by the time I went to UWF, my brother was also going to FSU at the time, and at that point, Playboy magazine had rated FSU as the #1 party school in America, and
We'll talk more about that later.
Just
and
we will.
UWF was in the top 5 of the most boring colleges in America, and so I don't really have any fun college stories. So
None?
I went to UWF at that point, so we had the Rathskeller to hang out in, and that was only till like 8 o'clock in the evening on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Did you used to go to Chan's behind University Mall?
Chan's, Seville.
Sounds like you have some interesting stories to talk about
I
while you were
can't
in
remember
college.
any of
Oh,
them.
really?
You were not blacked
Really,
out,
no.
huh?
Yeah.
It was that much fun.
That I blacked out. So.
No, back then, Murphy's.
Oh, fuck, Murphy.
Chancy's.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Wow.
Chancy's. So, I'm feel like I'm a reject from one of those teen sex college comedy movies that I was in the sidelines having no fun, but I was on the sidelines having no fun.
Just going
So-
pan down, pan down.
I do have a question. So your college.
I mean, I had a
Career.
great time. I had fun at college, but
Right. But do they still send you letters asking for money?
oh god, yeah.
All right. Just
and
making
every
sure.
time I get a new job, they send me a congratulations. I don't know how they figure it out, but
Congratulations on your new job. UWF was a part of that.
Exactly.
Maybe you should send us some money.
well, the jobs I get aren't that paying. So
Yes, UBC.
I have two questions for Will. One, approximately, you don't have to give the exact years, but approximately what time frame was this that you went there? And number two, did you live on campus or did you commute from a house in town?
No, I actually lived at home. I had the benefit of my parents paying for all my college, all 6 years of it, and I'm not a doctor or a lawyer.
But he does play one on TV.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
When I
And
stayed at Holiday Inn Express.
There you go.
It was 90s, so now UWF's
Yeah,
awesome.
back
It's
then
got
it
a
was
football
not.
team. And,
You look
know.
so good.
In the 90s, hardly anyone lived on campus. There was almost
Exactly.
no
But
dormitory
the national
space at all.
champion baseball team, by the way.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and golf
Yeah.
team. So there's
Oh, yeah.
all kinds of
Golf.
great things.
That's a
that you
drinking
could go.
sport.
So I would definitely recommend it. So, but yeah, unfortunately, I just don't have any. I went to a frat party that was a toga party and ended up taking some girl home in a grocery cart and leaving it at her front door. But
You
No,
buried the
movie.
lead, Will.
The girl or the shopping cart?
yeah, the shopping cart. It was worth something.
Tom Holtz was his roommate, so he was,
It sounds vaguely familiar, too.
It does.
All right. So in true lug nut fashion, we're gonna cross, and we're gonna go to UBC.
Oh boy.
Since you went, you took the brief thing and went plus ultra with it.
Well, I mean, college was the
I
greatest.
want to hear more about
12
the shopping cart.
Watch the movie.
College was the greatest 12 years of my life.
But again, you're not a doctor.
Indeed. I got 2 masters and 3 bachelors, but really, when you think of a college experience, your first undergrad experience is really the core of it, because the rest of the time, you're either doing something to get another degree really fast. So when I got my second and third bachelors, I did them in 2 years simultaneously, like 24 credits a semester, going through 3 different campus locations at the same time in the same day. And then, of course, online learning, which kind of fucking sucks. But my
It's better
first 8 years was at the University of Florida, where that really was, and this is beginning in fall of 1994, was really a great time to be in Gainesville. Just the university was a way. I'm sure that if you talk to a graduate from the 80s, they'd be like, "Oh no, you didn't get the cool time because it was better in the 80s," but it's definitely shittier now.
okay.
Sounds like SNL.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, the 80s were better. No, the 90s.
No, 70s, man. Anyway, so it was quite a lot of fun. I was simultaneously having lots of fun, but also doing a lot of academic stuff. I was a undeclared double major, and I was declared as a philosophy major, and then I ended up completing all the requirements for a Spanish linguistics major and never declared it. And then eventually, and I kept taking courses all over the map, and I had this one philosophy course left to graduate, but I didn't take it. I just kept taking other things. I
You
took
still
5
haven't?
foreign languages. Well, hold on.
Okay, sorry.
They upgraded their computer system where it allowed them to do some data mining and auditing and whatnot. My first semester, my freshman semester, I registered on paper on a Scantron bubble sheet.
Yeah.
We got
that's how you register for college.
Yep.
Blue pencil.
and we got email accounts, but this is before Windows 95 was released. So we would go to the computer lab and sit on VAX terminals and log into Pine on the Unix system and do email through Pine. And then my best friend Josh went to Georgia Tech out of high school, and so he's at Georgia Tech in their lab, and we're doing live chat over the Unix terminals. That was the coolest fucking thing.
You were so badass.
Oh yeah, so badass. I bought one. I went to Barnes and Noble and bought this giant thick book on Unix System 5 so I could know all the commands and everything.
I feel like I'm hanging out with Bill Gates here.
Yeah. Anyway, so they caught me.
It's boring.
They caught. I would have stayed there. But they caught me because they upgraded their system, and then I tried to register for a semester, and I was flagged. And the level of hierarchy on the flag, I went to the department. They're like, oh shit, this is like from the dean. You have to go specifically to the dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences to get this flag lifted. No one can do anything, and there's no reason why.
I know what the flag was.
The flag was I had too many credits and I needed to be
right. The flag is why the hell are you still here?
Because I like learning things.
That's not that. I'm not saying you didn't.
That's still
I'm
what
saying,
college is
I'm saying the
about.
flag said, "What the hell is he still doing
Yeah,
here?"
exactly. And the guy said, I made an appointment. I met with the dean, and he said, you know what? You cannot register for another class at this university until you graduate. Those are his exact words.
Oh, yeah, this is before your first bachelor's.
This is, yeah.
Oh.
So I had to graduate with the undeclared degree that I had completed all the requirements for, and then I ended up getting a minor in philosophy because they wouldn't let me take one more course to get the double major. And I ended up getting the philosophy degree through UWF because I just transferred credits there later. But
how's that working out for you?
Oh, it's great. I'm
So,
philosophizing with
and
the
just
best.
so you know, so you did all this so you wouldn't get drafted into Vietnam. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. that's
Absolutely.
checking.
Absolutely.
Desert Storm.
Yeah. But
That storm had already passed.
God, that's what I mean.
I absolutely enjoyed my time in Gainesville. I worked full time. I had all kinds of interesting roommate experiences. I lived in the dorms for just the first year, and after that we had something called the student ghetto, which doesn't exist anymore because it all got razed and built up with like condo stuff around the proximity of campus. Because these were old, off-grade, pre-World War II era shotgun homes.
Are they student housing?
No, they were just privately owned.
No, I mean the new ones.
No, they're privately owned,
Oh.
but now they're condos and things that are, it takes away the character of the whole
Right.
neighborhood where you
Yeah.
can sit out in front and drink 40 ounces and play hacky sack.
In Florida,
Well, back then it was
32.
quarts. Yeah. And,
still is.
and just sit around and like have a hibachi grill out in the one of those little cheap ass Walmart hibachi
Yeah,
thingies,
yeah.
and like cook steaks or whatever,
Yep.
and just hang out all day in a lawn that has mostly dirt. And now it's all gentrified, and it's BS, man. It really sucks.
The best shark steaks I've ever had in my life were on a little hibachi grill on a back porch at Ball State University in Bloomington Normal, Illinois.
There you go.
And my friend Scott, he was like, "Have you ever had shark?" And I said, "No." He said, "Come on." We went to the grocery store. He ordered shark. He ordered half a pound of shrimp, had him boil it for us. We ate the shrimp while we were getting the rest of the stuff. Also found out that in Illinois there's a liquor aisle in the grocery store.
Nice.
So we grabbed some of that stuff.
But it was
And-
Illinois, so was it like a land shark? Or what kind of shark was it?
No, it was actually
And the
black
big
tip.
brown shark came.
Yeah, it was black tip. But
Candygram.
It was
But-
Easter.
You're that shark
It
again,
was
aren't
Easter
you?
Seal's black tip.
every time I see one of those little hibachis, that's what I think of.
So, just a bullet point only. Some of the fun experiences were, of course, the college football time, because that was the era of Darth Gator, Steve Superior. I got to watch the Gators beat Peyton Manning 4 years in a row.
Oh, okay.
I got to go see the Florida-Georgia game at home and away in Athens during the time they were renovating the Jacksonville Stadium for the soon to be added
You mean
Jacksonville Jaguars.
You mean Steve inferior to Bobby Bowden?
Wow.
Excuse me.
Hey, one
The
of the
choke
greatest.
at Doak.
Hey,
The
compare records.
96 national championship.
Compare records.
One of the-
But I was still there.
The choke and doke is UF choking.
I know.
Okay.
One
I'm
of
admitting
the
it.
greatest
And then I was
NFL
there for
coaches ever.
Yeah. Actually, he won the USFL with the
I
Tampa
won
Bay
at
Bandits.
Tiddly
But
Winks.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's fantastic.
doesn't even matter. He's one of the coolest fucking people. He's
No, and I was Miss Little Rock twice.
it was they just gave it to you because you're like
Because I deserved it.
He wasn't even in
That's right.
Little Rock.
no. It's like what
Notified of my mail.
what epitomizes little?
And,
this guy.
And Pearl is still upset about that.
Everything about me, exactly.
So we we had that time, and of course I was still there for the Urban Liar years. That guy, fuck him. I also, the fun stuff about parking cars in your yard for football home games and making, half of your yearly rent over 6 home games. It was very nice and fun
pretty
and
sweet.
cool. Yeah, what's up?
Question.
Mhm.
So, in any of your classes that you took, did they teach you what a bullet point is?
PowerPoint.
Obviously, he only learned about segways.
PowerPoint came out in what,
Right.
98?
Emphasis
So,
on power, not so much
yeah.
the point.
I was using Lotus Smart Suite at the beginning, Lotus 123 and Lotus
Yeah.
Word Pro. And all
Lotus
that stuff.
Notes.
Yep, Lotus Notes. Anyway, so
Outstanding.
I remember learning that in college, and yeah, that's done me a lot of fucking good.
There you go.
I still have my my Lotus Smart Suite for OS2 Warp 4. Yep.
Well, that's another episode.
Yeah.
Because we will
Operating
definitely,
systems.
We will definitely be having that.
Operating systems.
We will. That's next week.
All right.
TRSE.
It's not operating systems, but
Commodore.
But yeah.
computers.
Yeah.
All right. So we're back to lug nuts. So boop, boop. Michael.
Okay. So I went to college very briefly. I spent 2 years at a wonderful college called Grand Valley State University up in Michigan.
Oh, that
Nice.
sounds amazing.
They have valleys in Michigan?
No.
It's just a
Lots of hills, not a lot of valleys.
They're grand. They're just not very deep.
They call them dales.
But yeah, it was. This college is literally in the middle of nowhere. All the woods, farms, woods. And the college in the middle. So, it was. I'm sorry. It was a university. So. not a college, it was a university. Grand Valley State University.
Oh, you're going to university.
Right. I went to uni.
Did you study maths?
Not very well. But yeah, no, my college career was cut short because I have a very deathly fear of writing papers. I am petrified when it comes to writing papers.
I have the same issue.
Uh,
I'm not really afraid of it. I just hate doing it, so I don't.
Well,
Well, we all hate doing
I-
things.
the thing with me is that if it wasn't perfect, it wasn't exactly structured the way it was supposed to be, include everything that has the word count, and I couldn't get it there, I just stopped doing it.
That's why I
Yeah.
don't do them.
Yeah,
Correct.
No, you were in college. You didn't have to be even close to perfect.
I know this
Hell,
now.
you think
I know
about
this
it.
now.
All right.
I was naive.
Yeah, literally, as long as you made the number count, you got a C.
Paul,
Gonna
if
say.
we've learned nothing from proofreading your dissertation, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Bill.
What town or area of Michigan is
It
that
was
university?
Allendale, Michigan.
Okay,
Wow,
nobody
never
knows
heard
where
of
that
Right, I
is.
never heard of it.
Where on the mitt is that?
And where on the mint is that? It is
Where-
Is it close to
West-
anything we would have heard?
Grand
of?
Rapids, Holland.
Oh,
Okay.
the armpit of America.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you
Wait,
grew
that's
up
Newark,
in
New
the,
Jersey. No, that's Grand Rapids, Michigan.
No, that's Bayonne,
You've never
New
been
Jersey.
there.
Larry,
Right
you
next to
grew
each
up in the taint of floor.
Oh my gosh.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't grow up here.
It sounds like we have an
Okay.
impasse.
Back to me.
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, this is
Okay, the snowflake needs to talk.
Thank you.
my house.
So, again, I was very, I would say, sheltered when I was growing up, and naive, book smart, like very book smart. Not a whole lot of street smarts.
So you discovered some shit.
I
when you
discovered
were-
drugs, and a lot of them.
Outstanding.
Yeah, that's what happens. Parents think they're doing a favor sheltering kids.
Yeah.
They are not.
So I lost some book smarts, but gained a shit ton of street smarts.
Yeah.
Do you
And so
remember
now
when
I'm very well
ecstasy
balanced.
involved an hour of vomiting before it actually kicked in?
I
No,
do.
no, actually,
Not that bullshit
I got-
Molly that
I
these
got
kids
pa-
are taking.
no,
It's just
I
nothing but
found ecstasy
bubbles and
past that.
balloons.
You were taking the
I found
Gainesville
ecstasy
ecstasy.
past that.
That's entirely
I
different.
mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are
stuff.
talking about.
But
They were like horse pills.
one of my favorite stories from this, and I lived in the dorm for the first year, and the second year it was off campus, but like 50 feet, it was on campus.
Right.
So it
With
was,
roommates.
oh yeah, like 3 roommates. Yeah, it was fun, a lot of fun. But I remember that one of the roommates and I were at a party, and we were drinking, and not like excessively. Well, I wasn't.
Right.
Roommates driving home, and this is the middle of winter. Snow has just fallen, so the roads are kind of slippery, kind of fun. And,
With a little bit of drinking. You know.
so, we get to the parking.
Nature's drifting.
We get to the apartment complex, and we're on the road of the apartment complex. And he decides to do some fishtails before we get
Well, yeah. that's
to our
fun.
apartment. It is fun.
Sure, why
It's
not?
lots of fun. However, what he did not seem to see was the police officer that was right in the parking lot of this complex. Lights go on, and I just go, "Oh shit!" Because this is my first experience with the law. You know?
Right. Because you were a sheltered kid.
But not your
Sheltered
last.
kid. I said first for a reason. So, we get stopped. The police officer says, well, we saw you fishtailing, and we can smell alcohol. So can you give us a breathalyzer? And I'm like 19. He's 19, 20, somewhere around there. And so my roommate blows, and he blows .2. something.
He blew the cop.
Well, yeah, but as I said, it was only .2. It was a very small cop.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
then I blew like a .10. I mean,
Wait, you were a passenger,
I was a passenger,
but you were underage?
But
Yeah, but you didn't have to.
well, the laws that I know now were not the laws that I knew then.
There you go.
All right.
So, and I'm petrified. Cop says do something. Yes, sir. Well, so they said, the roommate can't drive. Can you just drive? Your parking spot's right over there. Can you get in the car and drive to the parking spot? I was like, no, sir.
You said entrapment.
you
Yeah,
just,
yeah, you just
I really
said-
I really do not feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah, you literally just
You
said
really-
1-0.
Right.
I'm not getting in there.
The cop said, though, was this. If you were 50 feet back from where you are at now, you would have been on a public road. This, however, is a private road. We're issuing minor in possessions, not a DUI. Yes, sir.
Yep, I'll move it.
Thank you, sir. No, still didn't. The cop did. I stuck to my gun. But then, we go into court, minor in possession, misdemeanor, whatever. But I was thinking about it, I'm like, the smart ass me also.
You weren't in possession of anything.
Not
Not as far as you know.
When we go up in front of the judge, well,
Your liver
how do
was.
you plead? And I'm like, because, well, if you have, if you're confused about anything, ask now. It's like, well, I don't understand how it's a minor in possession because I didn't have anything, I wasn't in possession of it. And the judge just looks at me and she goes, your body was the container. Now, is there anything else you want to say? No, I'm guilty.
Oh.
And it was just a fine. I mean, it was like nothing. But
What are you talking about? If I go look you up online, there's going to be a charge.
Well, down here, lots of them.
But at least-
no, yeah. Statute of limitations, it's expunged.
Well, also it was minor, so.
No, he was 19.
And
No,
then
it's not a minor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were a minor. I'm sorry.
And then the other fun one was
He's not from West Virginia.
the other fun one.
You got
I
a pretty
was
mouth, boy.
at
Oh, dear.
a friend's house. We're just hanging out, and then I saw another on the second story. I saw another friend walking by, and I went to say hey to the friend. Well, I thought the window was open. It just that glass was super clean, and it was a double paned glass. So when I went out to go say hey to the friend, my head went through the first pane of that glass.
Wow.
Ah,
How
Wow.
enthusiastically were you trying to say hi to your friend?
Very.
Okay.
Wow, you really like that friend.
How hot was she?
Yeah. There's some
Yeah,
top
well,
off.
she was, yeah. That's the reason why I was saying hi to the friend. That's the reason why I was saying hi to the friend. But anyway,
so when Steve O.
my head went through the window, not a scratch on me.
But it still explains why he's our special needs child.
There are so many reasons why that's a true statement.
And also, apparently, you're like an 8th degree black belt.
Hey, since we still don't know who left that comment, it might have been her.
Certainly true. Certainly
Still
true.
pining for you.
That's right. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
Did she have a Grand Valley?
Oh dear.
No, but as I said, there was lots of pills.
Oh, good lord.
All right. So next, in true, again, lug nut fashion, we go to Bill.
Okay, so before we get into the whole college experience, I mentioned the Disney movie Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I happened to be in Milton earlier today. My mom lives over that way, and I drove by. What is it? Blackwater Prison,
Yes.
and
Is
I
it?
saw a.
I didn't know.
Honestly, he's got lots of charges down here.
Oh yeah, I forgot about all the charges down here.
Yeah, so
That
I
response was a little too rapid.
I happened to see a dwarf escaping down the wall of the prison. I
Wow.
thought it was a little condescending.
Oh, wow.
That was pretty
Outstanding.
fair.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So, hey, John, hope that thumb gets better. I feel you, man. My son's boss cut his thumb off on a cutting board at work. And, well,
Just the tip.
yeah,
Just the
so
tip.
down to the fingernail.
It was a bris.
Yeah.
God.
So anyway,
And he
my
didn't use a
college
mandolin.
My college experience, I was brought up very sheltered as well, which, like you said, bad idea, because we, why are the preacher's kids the worst? Because they hang out with the deacon's kids. And they're really bad. And so,
It's a true statement.
In my experience, it's because they hung out with me.
yeah. Well, you've heard of Bobby and Becky Reynolds.
Once or
but-
twice. Once or twice.
No.
They were the
Deacon's
deacon's
They
kids.
weren't deacon's kids.
Oh.
Anyway,
They were hanging out with
they were just
me.
hanging. They were you.
We've
Oh,
heard
I
about
got
Becky,
I
but
got you.
I didn't realize you went both ways with
I didn't
Bobby.
go both ways,
Okay.
but anyway. So college.
That was his name.
Bobby Reynolds is no Henry Cavill.
No. So I went to two different colleges. Started out at Pensacola Christian College here in Pensacola, Florida. By the way,
Never heard of
for those of you that are not from this area, UWF stands for University of West Florida, where Will went, and he is an alumnus with both my son and my daughter, who both graduated from there. And my daughter-in-law, who has a master's from there. And but I went to Pensacola Christian College, and it was a very fundamental Christian college, very rulesy, could be the word. And when I started, I was a science education major. I was going to teach high school science. Come to find out, I didn't know shit about science because I went to a small private Christian school. And don't even.
Nor do fundamentalists.
Shut up, UPC.
Nor do
Almost said it.
fundamentalists.
Almost said it, and I wanted to. Anyway,
You know PCC's motto, right? We take the fun out of fundamentalism.
And they put the mental in it.
oh yeah. So anyway, so I went to PCC. In my freshman year, I was a science education major. And like you and Michael were saying how you worried about writing papers perfectly and all that, I'm the exact opposite. My philosophy in college was, yeah, I'm failing. It's gonna work out. It is. It's gonna. It's
Did
gonna.
you pray on it?
No, I didn't pray on it, but thoughts and prayers. Maybe had I prayed on it, I would have passed. And I was.
Remind me about thoughts and prayers.
Okay.
When it's my turn.
I was that weird freshman who liked freshman speech. I know you find that hard to believe. I did. And I fell in love with it, and I switched majors from science education to science education. I'm sorry, let me say that again. I'm using my speeches.
Here's your words, Bill.
I went
Who's
from
our special teacher
science
again?
education to speech education, where I was going to be a drama stage type high school stage teacher.
Of course, with a
acting,
voice like
directing,
that, good lord.
And
It is made for radio.
I enjoyed it, but I couldn't deal with the artsy fartsy types. I couldn't deal with the actors. Loved the technical side of it. And one of my favorite things I got to do at that college was we did a huge production of A Christmas Carol stage play. And I became the stage manager for a year, and it was a blast. Now, I didn't have parents that paid for my college. I had a job on campus. I went to class, 16-hour classes, usually 16 to 18. Had a job where I had to work 18 to 20 hours a week on campus, and then I had to be on set at 6 o'clock at night and would get done about 4 in the morning, and I was also the I was also the cocksucker of the group. I put the fun back in fundamental. So anyway, that's the reason they banned peanut butter in the bookstore. And by the way, they did ban peanut butter in the bookstore.
And everyone went to
yeah.
PCC then knows why.
It's like the dog said, Karen, sometimes I just want the peanut butter.
Oh God.
So I got 2 hours of sleep a night, whittled down to, 130 from my whopping 138-pound frame. And,
Man, that was a long time ago.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
For our YouTube listeners, there will be a picture.
Yeah, you've seen me. I am at my lowest weight in 30 years.
Yeah.
All right, and it's
I'm-
still way more than that.
Yeah, I'm seriously going to insert that picture into the YouTube stream.
Oh, for the love of God! You mean the soccer?
I
picture.
do mean the
Yeah.
soccer picture.
So I coach my intramural team. That's what the life, your social life at that college revolved around what they called collegians. Collegians, best described as non-alcoholic fraternities and sororities. All right, we had the Pan-Hellenic thing, but it was a fundamental Baptist college. You didn't drink.
So sober
or if you
pricks.
did, you hit
Yes.
it. from a lot of people. Well, probably the best thing that happened to me at that school was I met Heidi, and that's where we met. And the best line I ever had. What's that?
Speaking of Heidi, Heidi interrupts.
Larry, edit that in later.
Okay, I'll put it in. No problem. All right, continue.
So, my best line at college.
Wait, you need a gap.
Bill has waved to me numerous times and said bye.
We gotta get started.
Good night. Good night, Heidi. Good night, Heidi.
Bye. Listen.
My best line that I ever used in college on any speech class, science class, whatever, was the time that I went to tell Heidi I loved her.
Bill, real quick, just to make the edit smooth,
Yeah.
say, "That's my wife."
That's my wife.
Continue.
You mean my wife?
No, I'm not really gonna
Oh.
cut any of that out.
Okay. My wife.
See what else we can make him say. he already took the words out of my mouth with the cocksucker bit.
Yeah.
He's already a cocksucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't say
Let's keep
anything
going.
to Ferg right now.
She might be your boss.
Oh my
So
gosh.
anyway, we're sitting in the student commons, and I was trying to muster up the courage to tell her I loved her. And I'm sitting there, and I'm fidgeting and hemming and hawing and blah, 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 blah. And finally, she was a year ahead of me in school.
Ooh, older
And-
woman.
Yeah, oh yeah. And she looked at me and she said, "Bill, are you trying to tell me that you love me in the commons?" And I paused and I said, "No. I'm trying to tell you that I love you anywhere." Had I had a mic in my hand, I'd have dropped it. I've never gotten married.
Kaboom.
And
That's
It was
fantastic.
great. She graduated from college. I left college, followed her to Maine, and got married, and started attending the University of Maine. You guys were talking about going to school for. So you said, Will, you said 6 years?
Yes.
UPC, you said 12 years?
Basically,
Okay.
including the online master's degree stuff.
I started college in August of '83. I graduated with my bachelor's degree in August of '93. My son beat me by 1 month. But in the meantime, I got married, had 2 kids, had jobs, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. When I went back to school at the University of Maine, I went back to science education. Basically, just took science and math classes. I mean, that was it, and learned the word derivata, which in Turkish means derivative in calculus class. There is no V in the Turkish language.
But Bill, how did you learn that term?
From
Calculus.
From a man named Ali Osla.
Was he a calculus teacher?
He was.
Oh my gosh.
I took that class in 3 weeks in the summer. Got a B. Have no idea how to do calculus. But it took me 10 years to graduate. And 2 interesting stories about University of Maine. One, you guys were talking about, what was it? Unix, Linux, whatever.
Unix.
Yeah. And you were
Computer,
texting
blah,
back
blah,
and forth.
blah, blah, yeah.
When I started going to school back in, I went 88, and I would take a semester, then I'd have to take a semester off so my family didn't starve, then go for a year, then I took a sabbatical for a semester and it turned into 2 years, back and forth. I came back to school to get my degree, finished my last year, and in the library, this giant library that reminds me of like an English university library, old
Right.
school, there were typewriters on every table. I come back, there's Apple Macintoshes on every table and laser disc players, and they were awesome. Love the laser disc.
Thank you for saying Macintosh, because that was the actual name of the
So it
goddamn
went-
computer
Yes.
in the early
Yeah.
So
version of the
it went from
company
a library
Apple
to
Computing.
a biblioteca.
He's
already told that
This
story.
is twice now, but almost done a spit take tonight. The second one was my son was 2 years old and I had gone back to school. And I said, you know what, God, I need a job while I'm going to school. I'll do anything but fast food or work in a liquor store.
You didn't say that.
No, I said I'll do anything but fast food. And God said, thoughts and prayers. God said, KFC it is. So I worked at
They're not
KFC
fast.
for 5 or 6 months. I was the
Barely
employee of
food.
the month 3 of those months. If you came in as a high school student and I didn't like you, I got you fired. But I worked there, and my wife was a pediatric ICU nurse. We go to pick our 2-year-old son up from school after I had gotten out of college and she had gotten out of work. We go to the daycare to pick him up, and his teacher looks at him, Jared, and says, Jared, so what does your mommy do? And this little 2-year-old boy looks up and he goes, my mommy takes care of sick babies. She
Wow.
goes, and what does your daddy do? He cooks chicken.
So proud.
At least
No, I got that damn degree and it's on the wall, and I've had an illustrious career up until June. Thanks, Mary.
But
Anyway.
Bill, that
Yes.
That was
beats
Meg.
that beats
Oh,
the
no,
heck out of
Mary.
your 2-year-old saying, "My mommy takes care of sick chickens, and my daddy cooks babies."
That would be much better.
I could have. I
Next time
mean,
you tell that story.
I mean, you could have forgiven the
Tell
2-year-old.
that story.
Yeah.
Paul,
Yes,
I
sir.
think we have a movie.
Okay.
I
The
was,
men are talking the movie.
I was afraid you were going to say, my mommy takes care of sick
No.
babies, and my dad's a cocksucker.
No. No.
No, you only admitted
Okay,
that.
next time you tell that story.
No. Your child was your child was much more innocent. No question.
All right.
All right, I'm done. My lug nut is tight.
Your
Well-
lug is lugged.
You
I
have
was
a
just going to
question or
say
you got a
that. I was
fart?
just going to say. I thought my college story was boring.
Well, but I have a T-shirt for mine.
I did refrain from calling you
Touche.
a pussy
Well,
after you said your line.
Well,
well,
So-
and on that note, in lug nut fashion, it is Ferg's turn,
All
and
right.
let's see if he can also avoid it.
Let's see if he can lie about going to college.
I did go to college. But my college experience was it was interrupted, much like Bill's, where
You had kids?
no, not that part. I went and joined the Navy.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, he was a cocksucker.
Much like Bill's.
well played.
Oh,
Hey,
oh, you're not getting that job.
hey, that Village People song was a powerful recruiting tool.
But yeah, and so yes, I started off, left home, went to school, and didn't stay very long.
What school?
Florida State.
I'm
But then you
sorry.
felt the call.
Well, no, I felt the pinch in my shoulder, and
okay.
Oh, right.
Okay, listen. May I interrupt you just for a moment because
You already have
Ferg
Looks like
is,
girl interrupted.
but except it's
a much less
except
attractive
it's Miss Little Rock.
than Angelina Jolie is
So-
a strung out
Thank you very much.
junkie.
So Ferg he's a jokester and he's fun, but he's also a humble guy.
Wait,
How
are
did
you
you-
about to tell the same thing you've told like
Yeah,
twice?
No.
anyone who's been listening.
How did
I started off school. I'm a baseball scholar.
They're right at Florida State, a baseball school. Florida State's a serious baseball
It's a serious
school.
baseball school.
This is
Not
not
so much in football.
right. This is not East
Not
Hoboken
anymore.
or
Fuck you.
University of Little Rock. This is Florida State.
And so anyway, had a shoulder injury, lost my fastball, left school.
You lost what ball?
Fastball.
Oh, fastball.
That's the first ball he lost.
I didn't say left. I said fast.
Tough crowd.
Why do I hang out with you guys? Oh.
Just wait, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
You don't
Another
hang out with us
story.
half as much.
Oh my gosh.
So I left school. I came back home. Started taking a few classes here and there at PJC, but it wasn't really working out for me. So I tried to come back and play ball some more, but I had another injury and decided that's it. I'm not playing baseball anymore. After that injury, I decided to join the Navy, and that was going to be my career path. I was, like, okay, so I enlisted, joined the Navy. So you go to boot camp, which is, training. It's kind of like school. And then you go to what's called A school. And that is basically Navy college.
It's where they tell you how to type.
Right. But like, it depends on what your job is. Mine was to type and file and, how to use the manuals and whatever. I was a yeoman, so anyone just go look that up, see what my job is, and you'll know it's pretty fucking simple. But there's other, if I could have gotten, it could have been a nuke, and basically finished A school with like a degree in nuclear physics. I mean, I didn't go that route because I was like, that seems hard. I mean, I could have done
One
it.
thing we've learned tonight so far is nobody likes to do anything hard.
But yeah,
Says Mr. Philosophy degree.
who's a waiter at a restaurant.
Well, we weren't going to mention that.
But so A school though is kind of like Navy college, and like, okay, I granted the Navy has their college, the Naval Academy, so yay, go Navy. But
Feed Army.
yeah, right. But A school is where it's right after you get out of boot camp, and well, you get a little bit of like the feel for how the Navy's going to be, but all as far as like the regiment of like how things are. But when you go on liberty, it's like, you can run wild and do stuff, and you're I was still a young man at 22 years old, and I'll put it to you this way. Well, so the first 3 weeks I was there, by the way, I went to A school in Meridian, Mississippi, where there's
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, I know. There is fucking
I've been there.
there's
It's
nothing to do.
Cowfield.
Oh yeah, there's nothing. It's a fucking swamp, and there's nothing to fucking do. So all we ever did every weekend, unless we had duty weekend, which means like you gotta just stay on base that week and change your watch and whatever the weekend.
You said duty.
I didn't say duty. I know.
I was trying hard not to bring that up.
I'm just waiting for him to talk
It's
about all
really-
the seamen he worked around.
Yeah. So there were seaman recruits, seaman apprentices, and
All the seamen.
all the seamen.
Yeah.
But so what we ended up doing every week was just renting a hotel room, getting a shit ton of beer, and
Renting a hotel room where?
in town we go into town, and there was
No, in
in
Meridian.
Meridian, Mississippi. Like,
Okay.
So there was the mall.
I thought you'd go to Biloxi.
No. You
somewhere.
go into town. There's
You know,
the mall,
somewhere
and there's
cool
like
where the Air Force goes.
right, yeah, sorry. I mean, we could have done that, but the cab ride's way expensive, and
And he knows all about cab rides. He's got a spreadsheet.
but we get a shit ton of beer and hang out and just play cards or whatever and do other stuff. But also the great thing about like A school is every week there, and especially since I was in an admin type job, there were way more women in that field than men.
Nice.
So every week there's a fresh new batch of like chicks coming straight from boot camp. But yeah, A school was a lot of fun.
You got college credits for that.
You got credit.
Yeah, credit.
And some deposits too.
Although
He punched his ticket.
nowadays he would get college credit for that.
Yeah,
No, I believe I did get like some sort of like when I left the Navy and went back to school and stuff. In your A school you get like half a credit for this class.
So you went back to school. Did you go back to Florida State or did you
No,
go
no.
somewhere?
I came back. Took one more semester at it was still PJC. It's PSC
Cordova
now.
Tech.
Right, and yeah.
People just chilling.
Finished. Got my AA there.
University of North Ninth.
Right.
Peter
And
Pan
then
Jelly College.
went to West Florida.
Okay.
And
you did, what is your major? What did you graduate with?
I graduated with a degree in history and a minor in education.
Okay.
Where I was going to teach history. Right up until,
Mold young minds.
Yes, right up until I did my student teaching. And,
Fuck these kids!
and so through 10th grade, American history class, where let's just say 15-year-olds suck ass.
But not in the good way.
Not in the good way, right?
And if they do, you're going to jail.
Right.
They can't toss a salad worth a damn.
So like
So
at
inexperienced.
the end of that semester, and I was graduating and everything. The principal was like, "Well, we do have a job opening. Like, if you're interested." And I was like, "No." And I was like, "I'm gonna snap a kid's neck." And they're like, "Oh, really? Are you?" I named the kid I was gonna start with.
It's Cody.
Right? I just said last name, but still,
Yeah.
I'm going to sell bourbon.
right?
I want to work in a place where no one under 21 is allowed.
But at the same time,
I want to help people.
I was already bartending at Star Porter downtown.
Make
and
more
everything,
kids.
So, like, by the time I
Oh,
was,
so you were making mad money.
well, yeah. So, like, why would I want to go teach? I mean,
Yeah.
So the people who I did my student teaching with, their main jobs are teachers, bartended on weekends just to make more money, and they actually were like, "Oh, I'm making maybe 2/3 of like my annual salary bartending 2 nights a week." Then, again, you don't get paid for summers and stuff like that,
Right.
But yes, UPC.
Yeah, I have a similar storyline with yours, which is when I was at Florida, I minored in secondary education. I actually completed that minor, and they had a program that did a 1-year master's in education if you did the minor. And I was planning to do that because I wanted to teach philosophy at the secondary school level. So in an IB program or in a private secular school, not a religious school, something where they would want to have a philosophy, basically, 1 semester intro to philosophy or something, teach people how to use logic, reason, the things that no one knows anymore. But I ran into the same thing. I was like, I don't want to be around these fucking kids. They're the worst.
Right.
Fuck that.
And I realized, like, so I was 30 at that point in time. So yeah, it took me 13 years to actually,
Hey,
Well,
the whole thing of teaching school now, being like Larry was earlier this year, in between contracts. I have had both my mom, my sister, and then somebody else. My sister's a school teacher, and they keep sending me links to school teaching positions here in Florida because there's a
shortage.
drought,
Because nobody wants to
shortage.
freaking do it.
And
It
they're
fucking
paying better than normal.
sucks. Right.
I'm like, I'd rather be a gigolo. Anything.
Well,
You gotta make money.
You
somehow.
wish.
Yeah, you would.
What?
You gotta make some money.
You'd be an adequate gigolo.
No. You know what? No. I'll work 2 part-time jobs. I don't care.
Yeah, you already worked two grown ass adults through that age group. and you know how much that sucks.
No, I.
But so,
God.
but I did learn after I got out of the Navy though, when I went back to school, that I was older. I got out of the Navy at 25. I was older, and going to school, going to class was easier. I didn't need to, feel like I had to prove anything anymore. I was like, okay, I'm in the same class with like 18-year-old kids fresh out of high school, and I'm like, I don't give two shits about those fuckers. But I learned that I'm an actual auditory learner. That like,
Right.
when teachers would be
Me
like,
too.
when teachers like, you need to be writing this down. I'm like, shut up. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah. Just
I
say
don't-
it.
Like, yeah, if you say it, I'll remember.
Yeah.
If I sit here, pay attention to what you're saying, I will remember it.
That's
me
my
trying
problem.
to trying to like chicken scratch your shit out.
That's my problem with online learning.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have some sort of
Compelling
classroom, some sort
audio.
of classroom
Yes.
presentation.
Yeah.
If you don't have Zoom meetings and that kind of stuff where the teacher actually gives.
Yeah, a compelling lecture.
Yes.
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
that way as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yes.
I know it's a little off track, but there are 3 of us out of the 7 dwarfs here that have majors, minors in education. And
Dumbasses.
that's and my last contract was training adults.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and yeah, I'll do that all day. I don't care what it is. I can figure it out. I can learn anything and teach someone. Best way to learn something is to teach it. It really is.
Absolutely.
But what I was going to
And then
say
there's
was,
also those who can't.
yeah, those who
Teach,
can't
yeah.
do teach. Those who can't teach, coach. But what I was going to say,
I
what I
was
was
also
going to say
going to be a
was,
baseball coach, but that's
one of the keys
That
to
involves
being
kids.
a good teacher is understanding how your students learn. I am not an auditory learner. I look at a book. I don't have photographic memory. I don't mean that. But I know where it's at on the bottom right-hand corner of the page. I'll remember where to go to that page.
I think
It's
that
not-
is technically
but it's
something
I get
close
it.
to photographic.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But-
not. It's
Is
not.
that what
It's
you're
not
saying?
identical, but it's
Yeah.
excellent recall.
And where I
Yeah.
used to teach, they had one method of teaching, and if you weren't that kind of learner, you were gonna fail.
Right.
And
That's
if
sad.
you were a fidgety kid, if you were there are some
That's
people.
terrible pedagogy.
I
is what that is.
agree. I'm on your side on this. There are
I
some
would be
people
as I
who
look
are.
up that word.
There are some people who are repetitious learners. There are some people who are auditory learners. There
Practical
are some people
learners
who
that
are
have to
practical
do
learners,
something.
hands-on, three-dimensional.
Yep.
And and by the
And
way,
they're book
if you
people.
don't like,
Yeah.
I tell
If they can
everybody
read
to
it,
read.
They're good.
I tell people the reason I quit teaching school is because I realized I don't like kids.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I did not go
There's
into it.
Okay.
no way I'm going.
Hi,
back.
Jared.
All right. Sorry.
Do you remember?
That's
do you
off
remember,
track.
Do you remember the day that
The music died.
that the last kid moved out? And the party that you and Heidi had
For my daughter.
when your last kid moved out,
Oh, it's right here. Sorry.
and yeah, when your last kid moved out, and it was just the two of you.
Yeah, and then her mom moved in.
That was a few
There
years
was
later.
there was 3 days difference.
Yeah.
There was a few years later.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm saying, you remember
Yeah,
how awesome that
I
was.
stopped wearing pants.
Yeah.
I can't do that at
It
school.
probably wasn't
Yeah.
that good of a party if you remember it.
So, Ferg, were
So-
you done?
What I'm
Yeah,
saying is,
yeah, it's yeah.
of course,
That's
you
all.
don't want to teach other people's kids.
No.
You did yours.
I have
They're
a,
successful.
yeah, I have a CDL
Wait,
with
you
with
did your kids?
I can drive a school bus, and people are like, "Hey, they're hiring school bus drivers." Do you know how many children would be murdered in this county if I was driving a school bus?
All of them.
All of them.
All the ones on
Yeah.
your bus.
How many school buses we go off a bridge?
Well, I only drive the short bus.
All right.
Oh, I love that bus.
Yeah, we know. We know, Michael. You were on the short bus. You're very familiar with it.
So back to lug nuts.
Uh-oh.
The biggest,
gonna be my
the biggest
turn.
lug of all.
No, it's gonna be my turn.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, hence the reason for the lug nuts, because it didn't matter how I went, I could figure this out. So, I started my college career at PJC.
People just cruising.
I still call it that to this day.
Peanut Butter
I
Jelly College.
do not recognize their new name.
Well, you
bullshit.
can earn a bachelor's there, so that's why it's PSC now.
Yeah.
It's actually a 4-year school.
People still chill.
I don't care.
But
It's
beside the
still
point.
It's still Bruce Jenner.
Beside the point. So started there. Went through the first year of my associates. I had a friend of mine who lived in Quincy, Florida. So I took the opportunity to stay with him and on his family farm for really cheap, like no rent, and we only paid utilities, and utilities came to, I believe we split $100 a month in all the utilities. 'Cause we couldn't get cable, we couldn't.
Sure.
There was a lot of things.
There was
that we
electric
did not
and water
have.
back then.
Yeah, there was a lot of things we didn't have.
Well, you're
What we
pumping
did
our water
have,
back then, so.
what we did have was a pond full of catfish, about 50 feet away.
So that's
So
what you
if we didn't have anything for dinner,
Did you guys
we
have
went out there
a?
and just yanked catfish out.
Noodled?
Hey, real
No.
quick.
Oh.
Did,
No, you had catfish feed that they got fed every day.
Yeah.
That we would feed them every day. So then you just put a piece on a hook, throw the rest of it out, and toss your hook out with it, and they'd bite right on. And you just yank them out.
did you guys have a Murphy tub?
No.
And was that? It was. Oh my god. And was that your ichthyology program?
No.
Okay.
No. But yeah. So I had that opportunity. So I went to Tallahassee Community College for one semester, and then I went to Florida State. I am, after following everyone here, I am sad to say I did not graduate from Florida State. What I did do at Florida State was I discovered Bullwinkles
Nice.
and
Sure.
the Late Night Library and Poor Paul's and all of these amazing places to go drink and meet women.
Cafe Cabernet?
I'm
What about Sugar Shack?
not sure about that one.
Okay.
What about Cracker
Was
Barrel?
the
Now-
Sugar Shack still in existence
now,
at that time?
now, I do remember Thursday nights, literally every Thursday night, no matter what class you had on Friday. We went to CJ's, and we had nickel beers,
Oh God.
and
They had a CJ's in Gainesville too.
25-cent
25
oysters?
cent oysters. Yeah. And we would, yeah, we would
What?
go there and we'd spend $10. And
When was this? Like 1940?
No, this would be like 1993.
Yeah.
And nickel beer night.
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
Nickel beer night was a fucking joke
Oh my god.
because you couldn't order a nickel beer. You had to pay $1, and they brought a table with brought a big thing with 20 beers on it to your table.
Wow.
That's why you don't
And
have to go
had
back up.
you
That's
had
what
to
you.
do that.
That's what you do at the trail anyway.
But it was still a deal.
Right, that's what you
It was
had
still
to
a deal.
do.
You get a
Oh,
cocktail
yeah.
tray of beers.
Oh, we would spend $10 a piece and
Ridiculous.
be completely plastered and full.
So,
And
Larry, just what one point though, because you brought up Poor Paul's.
yes,
So shortly before I left for the Navy, I went to go visit friends back over in Tallahassee. And of course, we went to Poor Paul's.
did you spin?
I hit the right color 6 times in a
Wait, what is this?
They have a big wheel.
row. They have a big wheel. Where it was, you buy
A wheel
drink.
of fish?
Well,
No.
you buy a drink.
Wheel of Fortune.
Snappa.
Wheel of
And
Fortune.
like,
Yeah,
you
it's like
know,
a Wheel
they,
of Fortune.
they spin the wheel, and like there's what, like 5, 6 colors on it, or however, and if you guess the right color, they give you like what they call like basically funny money that
Yeah,
looks like
Paul bucks.
Paul bucks.
Monopoly money.
And, right, and but only enough for like the last drink you just bought. So like okay, so you just bought a beer, so he'll give you like $3 worth of Paul bucks, and well, every time so we're hanging out with my buddies and I and everything. We got a pitcher of beer because we're still pretty much poor college kids.
Right?
So we're sharing a pitcher, and every time, like, I go back up, get another pitcher, they're like, I'm like, okay, red, black, blue. And those guys just look at me going, like, finally the 7th time I got it wrong, I'm like, yeah, how much will I leave for that? Like,
So you paid for 3 pitchers and got 6?
paid for 2 pitchers. Paid for the first and then the last, we got 7 pitchers.
Oh, nice.
And the
Yeah.
joke was on them because you're colorblind, right? that's why you were a yeoman in the Navy.
No, I'm not colorblind, I'm
So,
just,
back
my eyesight's
to
not all that great.
back to mine.
Yes, sir.
By discovering these amazing places, and they are amazing places, I didn't graduate. I left. I would not say I left in disgrace because I did not even a little bit. But I had an amazing time. It was the best. I have actually recently gone back to college to finish my degree. Next week, I think I start. So there's that. But on the what Bill said earlier about thoughts and prayers that I told him to remind me about, which he did not. My daughter is currently in Mobile at the Motionless in White concert that I was supposed to be going to, and I'm not there. So just putting that out there.
You're dedicated. We appreciate you.
That's not why.
He's no longer in between concerts.
Yeah, it's because I have a job. Sorry, a job.
Speaking of, the pretty much the only other person here who didn't graduate college. The other reason I didn't graduate college, besides finding drugs, is I also found girls.
Yeah.
Well,
And those two do not mix.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, they do
yes,
really well. And that was the reason I didn't
Wait a minute.
graduate.
If you have drugs, it's like if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
If you have drugs, yeah.
They
You
will
mean
come.
it is
Yeah.
girls and
And-
drugs don't mix with going to class.
Correct.
I did not.
If you
lead a
fuck her,
sheltered
she will
life at
come.
all.
Yeah.
So I did not have that. I discovered girls way before that.
Or actually, in college, they discovered me, I should say.
Yeah. But so I didn't have that issue.
First 3 times
it was literally just I discovered how much fun bars are. I didn't go to bars before then, and I discovered that I love them. I mean, hence the reason we're all sitting here,
Right?
because I love the trail. I love hanging out with my friends.
So you mentioned CJ's. We had a CJ's in Gainesville as well. I don't know if it still exists anymore, but I know we have a lot of listeners who work in the restaurant industry, and there's.
I believe it's called the service industry now.
Well,
It includes cafes and
no,
everything.
real
Bartenders
restaurants,
and-
people who actually cook food and stuff. I'm talking to the back of house people.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's not call it
You're talking
service
to
industry.
Jared.
Let's talk about
No, you're talking to Jared.
cooks, sous chefs, and chefs. All right, but there's a hazing
Hey,
thing that goes on.
dishwashers.
Dishwashers, very important.
Somebody's got to do it.
No, it's very important. anyway,
Probably the most.
There's a lot of hazing that goes on in back of house stuff, particularly when you're in a close proximity to another restaurant. So you'll send some new guy over to the neighboring restaurant with some snipe hunt kind of thing, like I need a gallon of steam table water or a 5-pound bag of ice mix or something like that. So what they would do at CJ's, they would have these girls that were, you know, hostesses and waitresses, and they're in their late teens, early 20s, they're college students, sorority bitches, and they would have them out there. There was a creek running behind that restaurant, and they would take the oyster shells, and you could see it all the time. These girls would be wading in this creek, putting these oyster half shells into the mud,
Planting the oysters.
because the bag house people would tell them, like, yeah, in order to like keep the oysters alive, we need to reseed.
Is this a Lewis Carroll thing?
This is
going on?
no. This is just
Okay,
hazing
second.
dumb blondes that work front of house,
Wow.
and having them go out, and their
Wow.
pants are like rolled up, and they're wading in this creek, and they're
Unreal.
and they are putting oyster half shells in the mud, and you could see it like at least once a week driving by.
Oh my God.
I can't wait to hear Paul's.
So great. So for those of you who are listening who work in the restaurant industry, I'm sure you guys would appreciate that. Giving those
But if someone does ask for soda water, you
those
need new
prissy
soda water,
front of house
go get
bitches,
it. That is
a
actually
comeuppance.
Are you saying that when they at KFC told me to deep fry the eggs, they were fucking with me?
Oh no, those are
Yeah,
called.
it's called Scotch egg. You're like, what are you talking about? Did you wrap it in
good
ground
They're delicious.
ground
Ground
pork and
sausage.
bacon?
No, we
Yeah.
wrapped them in the Colonel's ashes.
Yeah, that's
Delicious.
yeah.
All right. So now to the man of the hour,
Yay!
our final presenter this evening is going to be. I know you're expecting me to say Mr. Paul, but I'm going to
Actually.
not say that because actually it's Dr. Paul.
You're very,
Here, 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 here.
Dr. Paul,
Very
you're
kind.
gonna
Huzzah!
all right. I'm gonna. Yeah. So you're all very kind, and so like
No,
I'll
we're
just-
not.
I'll just- well, not usually, but at the moment it seems like you're pretty kind.
Yeah, we're just waiting for you to say something that we can.
Just wait for the party. It's not really a party.
All right. Well,
Really.
so the thing I'll start with just
Oh,
briefly, so then I can go back to the other things. But I just recently I completed my PhD, and I really wrote almost all of it at the bar we all love. And these 6 guys that are surrounding me right now were supportive of that and would come talk to me and joke with me when they could see I wanted to rip my hair out. And then sometimes they would just plain leave me alone, which I needed, even though I didn't want that. So I owe all these guys a bit of gratitude. So that's certainly,
Are we in the acknowledgement?
oh, damn straight y'all are.
Oh, they kept it?
Well, as far as I know.
It's basically just our initials. But
Well, yeah,
Well,
it's
yeah.
just- but yeah.
because he has
No,
like
there was
7 people.
there was a
in.
lot. Yeah, there were a lot of people.
I'm J.K. Rowling.
I had, no, I had one page of acknowledgement, so there's lots of initials.
Shauna.
There's lots of initials. And then so I appreciate that greatly. You guys are fantastic.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Before I
All
can
us.
before I continue, I just need to mention too.
No one's gonna say it. I feel like this doctorate is all of ours.
Oh my God, for
Are
sure.
you saying you're just a little humble?
The little, that's exactly right. I'm just a little humbled, 100%, and I'm little and I'm humbled. So there you go. I got that too. So, but I also just need to mention it because Ferg being in the Navy, I think is just a balls thing, and I just appreciate your service. And as the poet once said, the glorious thing about Navy seamen is they're excellent swimmers, one and all. So yeah.
The poet or the bard?
I'm pretty sure that was Melville and Billy Budd, but we can come back to that. So, all right, fantastic.
Seems like Oscar Wilde. but
Well,
anyway.
no, it could be. No, and funny you should mention. So I have three very brief stories. Been very fortunate in my education. Probably the luckiest thing I got to do when I was an undergraduate is study in London for a semester with my great friend Bill, my other great friend Bill, and so we got to study and travel a bit, and that was just a ridiculously cool thing.
Did you go to the World of Warhammer?
Well, yeah, huh?
No, you didn't.
No, it probably didn't exist then, honestly.
It did.
I'm very old. Well,
It
okay,
did.
sorry, I didn't. Sorry. So I'm going to go back with Larry just to take me to the World of Warhammer.
So we go to Nottingham.
I look forward to that.
I'm in. I'm going.
All right, let's go. Let's do it. And then a couple of funny ones. One is because Larry mentioned Bullwinkles in Tallahassee when I was a graduate student in Tallahassee. So a long time ago, I was a lot thinner, and I had, let's say, a better figure, and longer hair. And so late at night, if you
I had
went
a girlfriend in Canada.
that one too, okay.
She's a model.
But late. But okay.
And real.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Totally real.
I'm
Total-
not,
100%.
I'm not getting through any of this, am I?
Go ahead.
All right, so
No.
That's why we saved you for last.
So those of you who've never been to Bullwinkles, which is probably most of you, on the outside they have this huge deck, and there are two restrooms. Well, the men's restroom, as soon as you open the door, it's a very tiny spot. As soon as you open the door, there's a sink. So if you're standing there washing your hands, boom, your back is to whoever's walking in the door. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I was thinner and I had longer hair and it was after 2:30, if I was standing there washing my hands, I would occasionally hear the door fly open and just one step. And then whoever the guy was would panic because they saw somebody 5'4" with long hair and not the uncutest butt, and they would think, "Oh my God, this is the woman's." And I'd look up and I'd be like, "Hey, how you doing?" "Oh, okay, I'm good
They
now."
thought they got, like,
And then
wires
right, and then
with the bathroom
then they'd
situation.
stumble in and do
Yeah.
their thing. And oh my gosh, that happened to me a half a dozen times. I swear to you. And then my other silly one, and this sounds kind of dumb, but me and my buddy Bill, we were film guys. Our senior year, we're working on a film, and I'm old, so we were cutting film on celluloid. So you're cutting celluloid film, you're cutting half-inch magnetic sound tape. It's a slower process. So we were sitting on a Friday, we edited for like 4 hours, and we're done, and we're buddies, and so we're not talking, we're walking to the bar that we like. And so we just get done, we're not really saying anything, we go out, it's cold because it's South Bend, friggin' Indiana, and we got our hands in our pockets, and we're just walking, our heads are down.
South Bend, Indiana.
Well, it's another place.
Where's that?
It's
South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah, it's near Mickawatt.
What college was this?
It's near Elkridge.
What college was this?
It's their name. So
IUPUI.
yeah, that was the one. So we're walking when our heads are down, and then Bill just like looks at me, and he pulls his hand out of his pocket, and well, at Notre Dame, everybody was on the meal plan, and if you had the meal plan, there was 2 hours where you could eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and if you didn't go there, you didn't get friggin' food. So everyone went, and you could take one piece of fruit. And if you were clever, you'd take an apple and put it in one pocket and carry the banana and show the people watching the door. I mean, they were militant. It was crazy. It was nuts. So
we were like Jewish ladies in Boca Raton, like
something
putting
like
shrimp
that.
in their
No,
pocketbook.
seriously.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but we're walking, and Bill looks at me kind of weird, and I look at him, and he pulls his right hand out of his pocket, and he's got a pear in it. And he just says to me,
A pair of what?
"I have a pear." It's like, "You got a pear?" He's like, "Yeah." And then for the next 10 minutes, we exchanged ways to say, "I have a pear." Like 15 times. "I have a pear. I have a pear. I have a pear."
Doing like
And it's
the whole
totally, and it's
method,
and it's totally absurd.
like,
But we hadn't said a word for 15 minutes, and
Hey.
suddenly he's like, I have a pair. I know it's dumb, but it sticks in my mind. I can't get it
That second
out.
one was full on Keanu.
Thank you very much.
I have a
And then
I have a pair.
lastly, I'm a big sports fan, and I've been super lucky. I've gotten to study at 2 universities and teach at 3. And the first one, when I was a junior, someone won the Heisman Trophy, and then when I was a senior, we won a national championship. And then
Yep.
my first year on campus at Florida State, my third year as a
Thank
student.
you, Charlie.
There you go. My first year on campus, Charlie Ward wins the Heisman Trophy. Florida State wins a national title. And then my 4th year at UWF, I taught at University of Baltimore in between. No football team. Great students, hardworking. Most of them had a job and were taking care of family members. Just a really great little school. No football team. But then I get to UWF. 4th year here at UWF. UWF wins the national title. I'm not saying it's me. But I'm not saying it's not me.
Three, Division 2.
But that's 3 out of 4 schools, and one of them didn't have a football team. So pretty good stuff. So anyway, my education's been a great thing, and I appreciate you guys letting me go last and celebrating my doctor crap. So anyway, you all the best.
Oh,
There you
you
go.
think we're celebrating your doctor? Here comes the lightning round. And by lightning round, I mean... hold on.
Lightning.
Dave.
Apparently
I have Dave.
UPC has something... Oh, UPC...
Dave yielded his
Dave-
time to me
Dave
because he
did
had to
come by.
leave.
Oh, wow.
And I just want to tell one brief story.
Yeah.
So Dave, when he was bartending at the Trail on Saturdays, which would be the college football day
Right?
in the football season,
Yeah.
and lots of people wear their regalia,
regalia.
their various team paraphernalia, shirts, hats, whatever, and 90% of them
Never went
didn't go to that college, much less have one college credit under their belt.
there. Right.
This goes back to the pet peeve episode.
Yeah.
People who are the loudest
Yeah.
fans
Continue.
of the team have the fewest college credits.
Continue.
Anyway, he would wear his alma mater's T-shirt, which
Right.
is RISD,
Yep.
Rhode Island School of Design.
Yeah.
And every time I would see it,
Go
I
Nats!
would say, "Hey, still undefeated?" He's like, "Yep." And it was just like this subtle joke that I got that hardly anyone else got. And he would, on a Saturday, he's
I don't
wearing
get
his
it.
RISD shirt because they don't have a football team at all.
I know.
Jeez.
Tough
The
crowd.
But
only
all
sport they
these
have is hockey.
loudmouth rednecks and whatever with their fucking Bama and Auburn and LSU, whatever, and
I'm
Florida
just glad none of
State.
you motherfuckers went to Alabama.
Okay, well.
But none of these people went
Thank
to any
God.
college, much less the one that they are loud-mouthed about. And Dave had his little subtle joke that just was through the 8-hour shift or
Yeah.
whatever it was, and I love it. And that's me using
yes.
Dave's time that he yielded to me to tell his college story.
Their mascot is a NAD.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Because
go Nats.
it's a art school and they've got to be all dumb and stuff.
Like,
And
all
they-
artsy.
Yeah, right. And so the one sports team they have is hockey. So they go to hockey games and chant, "Go Nads! Go Nads! Go Nads!"
Which is unbelievable.
Absolutely.
There it is.
That's like,
That's art
that's
school
like an
kids for
MIT
you.
thing or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, again, thought we were celebrating Paul's doctorate, but now we're going to have a lightning round.
Denigrating.
And no, said lightning round is going to be literally a lightning round. Everyone is going to give an answer, and then we are going to move on. And I'm looking at you, UPC. This cannot be a long answer.
Okay.
It's a brief answer.
Sure.
All right. And we're going to go
Are we talking about
clockwise.
underwear?
No, we're going to go clockwise, starting with Bill, skipping Paul. So Paul is last
Okay.
after me. If you could have any doctorate in the world, what would it be? Bill?
You know, honestly, I was thinking about this, and it would be a doctorate in oceanography. Not a funny, just what I
Yeah,
wanted
no,
to do to start
that's
with.
not funny at all.
No.
But your son did that. Not a
No.
doctorate, but
Marine biology.
oh.
Is anyone here a marine biologist?
All right. Well,
I always wanted to be a.
You want to be Jacques Cousteau?
No, I wanted to be a oceanographer, and my dad said, "Well, it's only because you saw the girl in the bikini on National Geographic magazine." And
That actually checks out.
And he
Yeah.
said yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, probably,
yeah, kind
that's
of.
probably true.
I was-
I mean, that's literally her work.
I was 14. Yeah, that's it. I wanted oceanography.
All right, UPC.
Okay. I actually looked into this over 20 years ago. I don't know if this state of things have changed, but there used to be 3 universities, all of which are in Europe. I think
Of course
2
they
were
are.
in Belgium and 1 was Germany. And it was a PhD in brewmeister.
Oh,
Wow.
making beer.
Yeah.
Ah.
He's got a
Now, I don't
girlfriend,
know
but-
if those still exist, but UC Davis
I
has
don't- I
a
don't-
viniculture, and you can get a doctorate in viniculture,
Wow.
which I would
Yeah,
do as well.
yeah. Which I don't know if they exist either. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So I might have changed my answer. All right,
Right?
Michael.
Underwater basket weaving.
All right.
Don't we all have that?
I'm kidding. But a PhD in psychology.
Psychology, really? Okay. All right, Fer.
Psych.
Astrophysics.
All right, Fer
Nice.
stole mine.
To meet
So now I have
chicks,
to
I'm
think of
sure.
something
Well,
else.
duh.
Now you send me a
Will.
picture. Astrophysics.
History.
History.
Sure.
Particular period.
Just all history.
Well, if you're going to get a
All of it.
doctorate, you're going to have to.
You're going to have to
Because
specialize.
Period.
Specialize.
American history.
Okay.
European history.
What, American history
X.
after 1877 or before?
I'm going to change my answer to astrophysics.
Because I actually have a degree in history. You know?
Go ahead, say history.
I salute you, Will.
So, my original answer was astrophysics, but since everyone else is, well, one person selected it truthfully, and the other person chickened out and picked it, I'm going to go with Roman history. I love Roman history.
But what part of Roman history?
Fan of
What-
orgies and
talking-
vomitoria?
Yeah,
Roman history, yeah.
Actually, the Roman Empire after the Republic.
You forgot to push your glasses up when you said that.
So-
By the way.
Sorry, actually,
Actually.
for the YouTube viewers, I pushed my glasses up. Yeah,
Oh.
the Empire after.
I'm just
the
one of those
Republic.
orgy glomeron kind of people.
You know the nice
No,
the nice thing about a degree in philosophy.
Not at all. I am
Means you're never
actually.
wrong.
I was a big philosophy fan in college. Took a lot of philosophy courses, which led me to Marcus Aurelius, who
Yeah.
was an amazing philosopher and an
For
amazing
his time,
emperor.
but was
Yeah.
completely
But
debunked
in
through
these
logical
days-
positivism.
No, just
But
he's a great thinker. He's
The
a great
nice thing
But
about
at
it,
his time,
No, and
Yes.
I'm going to paraphrase
in
and not
his
quote,
time.
but spend no time wondering what a good man is. Be one.
Nice.
Can I change my answer?
no.
I want to major. I wanted to have a PhD in film, so I can just debate Paul forever.
No.
I would say this.
Michael?
Do I,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I just want to like.
you can still debate
We-
me.
we
one
tied
more
it
quick
there.
anecdote because you said philosophy. In my philosophy 101 class, we were studying Plato's Republic, and we got to the part of allegory at the cave. This is an 8 o'clock
Yeah.
class, like 8 in the morning, and I would work until like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then try and make it to this class. So I slept pretty much through most of it.
Yeah.
But I read the book, and fantastic. And my head's down. I'm almost passed out asleep. The teacher calls on me. He goes, "Mr. Goff, what was the answer to the question?" I'm like, can you repeat the question? And I don't even remember what it was, but basically, what is
You repeated
the
the question.
point of the alleyway to the cave? And I just rattled off the answer or an answer, and he just kind of like is stunned. The whole class is just silent, looking at me, and he goes, "That's right." I was like, "Oh, okay." And I just put my head back down. Now, I never turned in the final exam. I got to be in the class. Just because of that one thing, I swear.
Nice.
But were you responding to the teacher or the shadow of the teacher
Thank
on
you.
the walls of the cave?
All right.
At that, I was just responding because I was, all always
Real
on
quick,
mute.
the nice thing about a degree in philosophy is this: you can sit around all day and think about why you're unemployed.
No, or you can be a waiter.
I believe
And you
the-
can kill it
I believe
And
that- I
what are
believe-
you waiting for?
with
I
your
believe
high-value
the correct
customers.
term is server.
No,
I
waiter.
said it right.
No,
No,
I was talking about the one.
I'm not a server. I'm a waiter.
No, you're a server.
No,
You serve.
no.
Do I get one?
Yes.
And our final
That was
is-
in unison. That was nice.
Try to keep it.
Dr. Paul. If you could have any
Doctor.
Doctor.
PhD
Doctor.
or
Doctor.
other
Well, I'm
doctor credentials.
I'm sure I'm 100% happy with what I have. If I was smart enough, having a degree in math or physics, PhD would be amazing, because that would mean I'm smart. But I'm not smart enough.
If you were, you would have said maths.
Maths, there you go. But honestly, if I could do, for some reason my life was financially where I could do another thing, I would do the history of Western music since about 1700. There's a guy named Cristofori. I'm gonna mispronounce it. Who's the there you go. Who's the Italian who's credited with inventing the piano.
Okay.
No, well, it was the pianoforte back then. But yeah,
Okay, there you go. But
Yeah.
so,
Yes, yes.
but so, but because if there's one thing, like I remember lots of
Sounds
things.
like someone's already got a doctorate.
I'm fortunate.
Hey, I just stayed in
I'm
the Holiday Inn
fortunate-
Express last night.
I'm
that's
fortunate
all.
to have a good memory, but I love music so much. Somehow, like the easiest thing for me to remember is things that I like about music, and I'm thinking I might be able to manage 300 years of history about music. So
They
there it
don't
is.
have a PhD in Rush.
Well,
In Canada, they do.
They do.
Yeah, but it's a metric. It's a metric. PhD.
right, it's a metric.
Oh, there's a
Which is like 2.2
It doesn't
of a
count.
regular PhD.
that means it's big.
No, it's like 0.7 of a regular PhD.
Well, it depends. Are we
It's
talking
actually
Canadian
it's
dollars
0.6 it's
or
0.6
kilograms?
Canadian.
Rush would.
0.621.
For my second dissertation, Rush would feature prominently.
It's a square root of pi.
All right, guys. So, wow, that was actually way better than I thought it was going to be.
So you lied at the beginning of
I
it.
did. I did. That was really good.
That was intense.
Thank you, everyone, for showing up. I really hope that we can have this whole crew plus Dave next week. Because next week we're, I don't know. I said what we were doing earlier. I don't remember. Computers. We're doing computers next week.
Yeah, well then I'm out. 'Cause
We're gonna
doing
talk computers?
You're here.
I don't know
You
anything
have,
about them.
you have a computer in
Did
your
you have an
goddamn
Atari?
pocket.
I had it in television.
Oh, and tell them, then you can talk.
And
about
you have a
Yeah.
computer in your pocket.
For I know the
Larry.
difference between Linux and Linus and Schroeder. We'll talk.
Larry, I have a question. Those of us that were skins, can we put our shirts back on now?
Yes, you lost.
I think we need to say something for those of the listeners who didn't go to college. Well, bless your heart.
How come every time we do shirts and skins, Heidi ends up on skins?
Self-explanatory.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of money that went into those.
Yeah,
Hills
Yeah.
and valleys. Hills and valleys.
A lot of money went into
Thoughts and
that.
prayers.
yeah, because I pick.
We want to see the
Is it-
latest
is-
technology.
Wait a minute. Ask Michael. Isn't Heidi the mascot at Grand Valley State?
Just the biggest peaks and valleys.
It was
In
the
the
Grand
UP
Valley State
Heights.
Heights. Yes,
Hey, I
you're
thought it was
correct.
Grand Valley University.
We learned at Fergus not
Grand
the
Valley State
mascot
University.
at
Grand Valley
UP.
State University.
GVSU.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
So that's it. We're gonna go ahead and end it on that note, and tell everyone you need to go to Bullwinkle's if you're ever in Tallahassee, and B, I wish I was
Hey.
emotional someone.
If there's, I don't even know if the Salty Dog Saloon still exists in Gainesville. I haven't been there in years. Salty Dog is the best.
Hey,
like,
there's a salty dog.
trail-like place.
There's a salty dog pool hall
in
in
Gainesville.
Tallahassee, which I watched
I have been there.
I watched
Also-
a guy who
Get a salty dog.
no I watched a guy who bet some young college kid $20 he could beat him at pool using a broom, and the dumbass motherfucking college kid said, "Oh yeah, I'll take that bet."
That's
And
a
then I
bad
watched him
idea.
lose.
The
It's
other
a
thing
bad
in
idea.
Gainesville, sorry, Mom's Kitchen in Gainesville on Fifth Avenue. Best
That's
soul,
closed.
soul food joint I've ever been to in my
It's
life.
closed.
Are you serious?
very
Publix
sad.
on 9th
Damn it.
Avenue.
It's very sad.
Uh,
All right, and good night,
Good
everyone.
night.
Good night, everybody. Look, I'm a little drunk, okay?